This episode of Super Pulp Science is brought to you by the many talented vendors and artists at Winnipeg Comiccon, including Chris Simonite and Quirkylicious, and of course G&B Comedic and Chasing Artwork. They're all at the RBC Convention Center this weekend. Stop by and say hi.
Attention, citizens. It's time for Super Pulp Science.
This is Super Pulp Science, where we talk about how genre gets made. This is a very special, in the wild, recording on location episode of Super Pulp Science. I'm here, hunkered down, watching the native wildlife of Winnipeg Comiccon with two fellow observers, Dan Vadeboncoeur. Dan, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. It feels good to be here.
It's weird.
Is it?
Right? Like, it's a little surreal.
That other voice is Justin Curry, also known as Chasing Artwork. Mm-hmm. We're a little nervous. We're a little scared. It's first time back for me in 2 years to a show. Yeah. Justin's got a little more under his belt than me, so if I sound a little apprehensive, it's because at any moment, weird convention shenanigans could happen. Like somebody just went by with a suitcase full of what? Swords? Comics, books, toys, who knows? Anything could happen here, Dan.
I don't know if it's swords.
Short swords.
Yeah, it could be short swords. True. Could be daggers.
Oh my goodness. Justin, how are you feeling?
Good. Like the local show, there's always, I think, like a little more, not pressure, but like you can bring everything, so you want to bring everything. So you overpack and overplan, and it's almost kind of nice having that, like the plane restrictors on, because you can't feel bad about not bringing enough because you brought as much as you
humanly possible. Well, this time though, I will say that the absolutely incredible packing award, the Tetris award, goes to Justin Curry, known the world over as Chasing Artwork. But he should be known as car packing extraordinaire.
I guess we'll see by the end of the show, right? What did we miss?
I guess so. That's true.
This is the first show in a long time. You tend to forget things that used to be, always kind of in the back of your mind.
Now, the other advantage of it being a home show is that you can always go home tonight and get something.
It's true.
Bring it in tomorrow morning, because you can always bring in more stuff. So there's that.
I always find too, like I have a lot of conversations where people ask for something very specific, and I can't get it for them at the show, but let's contact each other and arrange for something in the next week or two. Mm-hmm. So I feel like there's always a bit of fallout sales after the convention with locals who want, that one thing bigger as a poster.
Yes.
Or
and we're doing a pop-up. Well, pop-up is the wrong word. We're just doing a First Fridays in the Exchange. So our studio will be open after. So we have this nice kind of dovetail of being able to say, if you don't want to take it home now, or if you don't, don't want it shipped, you can just come pick it up next week at the studio.
We did that. Like Winnipeg has First Fridays, the first Friday of every month. Studios kind of open their doors and people go around downtown checking out things. And we figured, since we're setting up for a show and we're going to bring everything back rather than throw it into storage until 2022, let's just kind of set it back up as we unpack it and have a show next weekend as well.
Mm-hmm. That sounds good.
So it sounds like prudent planning, but what it really is
laziness.
Yeah, in a way, opportunism. I prefer opportunism.
The lazy stone is there.
The lazy stone. The lazy stone.
The
gets
lazy
the
bird.
Slow bird. I don't know. We'll make a new one. Make a new one up.
One of the birds is lazy.
It is very strange, because the last time I was in this location, of course, was for my vaccination.
Which is still happening over there.
Yeah. So to see it in this new context, to remember it in that context coming here, and then to see it in this context again, it feels like hope. Then that's good.
So what would you say the size of the show is compared to like the floor plan of the last one that we did here?
I think maybe a third.
A third?
Maybe half. I think a third. It's hard to judge because they have done a really excellent job of putting a lot of space between the booths and the corridors and things.
And to be honest, I have not been in this new space a ton. Like, this is our convention center was expanded a few years back, and I think we only had one C4 in that space before. Two?
I think two.
Okay,
yeah.
so before they stopped. But I don't remember, and I don't think I worked that one. I don't think I worked either of those for C4. So I'm not familiar with the space. I don't know how much room is on that other side.
Right.
So I don't know how much is happening.
One thing that
some familiar faces walking by as well.
Talking about packing and getting stuff together for the show, one thing that was nice about the home show is I, of course, can bring my whole catalog, essentially. some of every book almost that I have. If I have it in stock, or if I have some somewhere, I brought them here. So right back to the Imagination Manifesto, I brought stock
Nice.
to the home show. And there's always somebody, it's usually Calgary, sometimes Toronto, someone who comes up and asks for that back catalog.
Yes.
They want it
That
signed or they
one
want it
piece,
whatever.
That one thing that you did
Yeah.
years ago that nobody asked about except for that one
Right,
person.
so it's not prudent to bring it,
Yeah.
but now I have everything. So, and I have, yeah.
Now, you guys are in mid setup right now. You paused in your setup to
Yes.
do this, but you're going to go right back into it as soon as we're done recording here.
We were really on top of the ball. We have until 5 o'clock today. I think it's just after noon right now. So we've got lots and lots of time. But we like the idea of kind of getting everything done first thing in the morning and then having a bit of time to just relax. Because the last thing you want to do is be set up right as the doors open.
Yeah, our modus operandi, local or abroad, is as soon as you can get up and get in, do it.
Yeah.
Because something inevitably will go wrong. And if it doesn't, man, you have a wonderful afternoon before the show starts.
That
to
is
just
so
have
much
lunch
so much
and
fun to
relax.
walk around and look at all the other vendors before the doors open, so you
Yeah.
can see what everybody else has and all their art and everything that they're doing. It's just I love walking around before the con starts.
It's kind of exciting. Now, Justin got to be a regular person at a show recently.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I just got back from vacation in Halifax. I went to Halifax and PEI and Cape Breton, and we toured all around the east coast of Canada, and it was great. And I was also there the weekend of the Halifax Comiccon, so I couldn't have my own table, but I attended like a normal person on Sunday.
When's the last time you did that?
It's funny that we called them normal people. We were like normal people.
I think in 2007,
Okay.
I attended one day of Icon. And that's
And
the
then you're-
only time I've ever attended a show as a normie.
Were you back the next day as a vendor? Is that what?
No,
or
But the
that was
next
kind of
time,
that was
Oh,
like my
the first-
research.
Yeah, okay. I get
This
you.
was pre doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I was kind of scoping out how it all worked.
Yeah. And then you've done like 20 or 30 shows every
So how
year
was
since
it?
then.
It was really good. It was like same kind of deals here. Like they've kept it a lot smaller. They didn't even allow, if you weren't local, you couldn't do the show. Like they
Okay.
kept all their exhibitors local, which I thought was really nice.
Prudent,
like it
yeah.
makes people feel safer, and it just gives especially the smaller people who are starting out, it kind of gives them a little more attention. Like they're not swamped by all those big wigs coming from.
And I'll say that's been nice for this show too. We got here early, so I don't know about people arriving right now. But when we got here early, everyone was so friendly and so happy, and there was no like angry Vax card demands. It was just like a pleasant part of load-in, and that was really nice.
Worth mentioning, though, it slowed things down a little bit. So if you are doing a show in the next little while and that's a factor, like give yourself a little bit more
At least an
time.
extra hour. Just assume the line will
Yeah.
be shorter. Everyone's just doing their best to keep everyone else safe. So plan for that.
So one of the things I noticed when walking around as a normal person as a customer at a convention, not normal, as a customer, was how it could be.
The earthly side of the veil.
It's weird because I had this secret, right? Like secretly, I know what is going on. I know how to do this,
I've
right?
seen behind the curtain.
Yeah.
You're like a magician sitting in the front row.
It was like I was really analyzing the interactions with different booths, and depending on their setup, how easy that interaction was or how awkward it could be. And there
I'll
was
make
some.
a side note. The comedians call this going to school. When a comedian sits in the front row of another comedian show, call it going. So you went to school.
I
at
went
the
to school,
Halifax
and I was kind of
Comic-Con.
I was also the second I walked into the convention center and started going up the escalator, this huge hit of anxiety because I've never been in this situation where I haven't had to rush back to my table, go set up, go do this. My body just assumed, okay, it's time to go to work. So it took me a while to just calm down.
Oh, your
and-
muscle memory. As soon as you saw those lanyards, you were just like,
Yes.
"Oh no, where's my booth set up?"
Smeagol did it once. He can do it again. It's us.
So I just kind of noticed, when you're setting up your booth, if you're new or thinking about getting a table and you're thinking about your setup, when somebody is walking around, a customer is walking around, and they want to stop by your booth, if there's a portfolio or a book or something that they can flip through or do at your table, it's so much more approachable. But when you just have artwork sitting there and I have to come up and you don't say anything, so I have to start a conversation.
Just in the car ride here, Justin, we were trying to think of what a name for what we're trying to talk about is, and Justin put it so succinctly. He said it's like in the hero's journey. It's the call to action. You want a person who's coming who is not sure whether or not they are even interested to not have an awkward pause, right? And so our portfolio, we always have an open portfolio, and we're flipping through it, and if they look and they're not sure, we just invite them, hey, come and take a look, and there's a moment that they can interact, and now you ignore them. You step away, you leave them alone, and there's no like awkwardness where you stand hoping they'll say something
Watch,
nice.
I'm doing it right now. I'm just standing up and like.
Yeah, it makes me feel awkward. Dan is standing over me right now.
And then I'm standing just like staring back at you, right? And especially like if they're not making the first move, if they're not like
standing the wrong way in the elevator feeling.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so like so I was just thinking like, okay, if this is making me awkward and this is like my world, like what does a person who this is their first convention, like what is this like for them?
Civilians.
For civilians, for normal people. So it was very interesting going through that process, being like just a normal off the street customer, seeing it from that other side.
Was there a standout moment where you felt, now this is right?
There was a publisher, a Halifax-based publisher. I forget their name. They specifically publish weird stuff, which is why I picked up some stuff for them because I thought you and J Ball.
What are you saying? Yeah,
he's saying you're weird, Greg.
It seemed like they would be a good fit for you guys, but they did a great job of.
On my boot setup right now, I literally have like 82-point font that says the word weird.
Kind of handing me things and then leaving me alone. Is that you don't want to like kind of be hovering over the person's shoulder the entire time they're at the booth. You kind of want to do like brief little hey, hello, and then give them their space.
It's the opposite in a way. When you're selling art or books or things like that, it's the opposite in a way to like trying to sell a piece of electronics where you want to be that person who's always hands-on. Let me show you everything about it. Let me talk to you. Let me do all this stuff. If they are not engaging with you when they're a reader, it's probably because they're a reader. They're going to make their own judgment call, right?
When they read it.
Yeah, when they read it. And so sometimes then this is the body language I'm used to. So someone will come up, they'll pick up the book. They'll look at the cover, they flip it over, they read the back, and then there's a moment as their finger pauses somewhere where they look up and they'll say, tell me about this.
Right.
What's this about? Is this appropriate for a X years old?
Yeah.
Right? That's the moment to engage with that.
Now, what do you do in the meantime? You can't stand there awkwardly.
So that's the other thing. I loved it when the artist was at their table sketching.
Yes.
Or doing like they were kind of busy on like not necessarily on their phone.
Not on their phone.
But as soon as there was an artist sketching at their table and then kind of looked up, gave me a hello, and then went back to work, like that seemed the most inviting and the easiest to interact with. I really like that.
Yeah.
Get all the sound of the suitcase coming off.
Suitcase coming off. We are right in front, ladies and gentlemen. You're here with us. I feel like Ruby Rod right now, except Corbin Dallas. We're right by the escalators where people who don't know they were supposed to come through the loading dock have been bringing their stuff up, which is...
Was everybody supposed to come through the loading dock?
There was a big bolded thing that said, under no circumstances bring your stuff past us where we are right now.
Clearly you didn't see that, the big bolded thing.
Yeah.
No.
I, as a customer, and I've been a customer a lot more than you have, Justin, I actually like that. That makes me feel like that you're practicing, that you're getting better at being an artist, right? That you're working on your craft even as you're sitting there selling your wares, right? So I like that idea of the artist sketching.
Well, and in our case, we usually have put on hold, like all week this week, I had to just... Everyone who reached out for emails, whether they were publisher related or agent stuff or collaborators, just be like, this week I'm doing the show. So then while you're at the show, it's usually me figuring out all of those things that I have to do when I'm not actively engaged with somebody.
Yes.
I'm thumbnailing something, I'm making a list, I'm drawing a cover, I'm doing whatever. And so even that act of having another place for your attention relaxes people who are just wanting to browse. You don't act like you're too busy for them. You just show them that this is just part of what you're doing.
Mm-hmm. Now, you guys are feeling nervous because it's you for sure, because it's your first con back in a long time.
I'll see that I might not have fun. What if I don't
Well,
like it?
you're going to like it.
What if people are the worst now? I used to love people. What
That's
if they're
my
the worst
question,
now?
though. What do you think the people coming are they going to be nervous? Are they going to be apprehensive about it? What do you think they're going to be?
Yeah,
feeling?
like this is probably a lot of people's first big event with any kind of crowd in a long
other
time.
than sporting events, this is all
Yeah.
like there has not been anything of
No.
this size.
I
And-
also had some very strange messages from, not strange, I don't think they listen to the podcast, but anyway, people who I know are definitely not interested in vaccination, who are very interested in my Minus Institute posters, which are like all about questioning authority, but they're upset they can't come to the show to buy them.
Well, you do have a website.
You're right, but I don't know. I was careful not to immediately mention to them, oh, we're doing an open house.
Yeah.
By the way, you still have to be vaccinated
Yes.
for that.
Still do vaccinated for that. Yeah.
And wear a mask, yeah.
Sorry, I think I cut you off. You were on the cusp.
I think like I was going to mention, like we had mentioned when I did the Calgary show, just how your social endurance is way down. It's like it's very it has not been working out very often. So just coming and interacting with this many people, I think is going to be a little more exhausting than most people
Yeah.
are used to.
Well, and
so probably shorter shifts of.
I have a helper. I made sure
Yeah.
that I have a helper for the whole show this time too, for that exact reason, in case I just need to. I'm out of here for a little while. But I was also going to say, I've mentioned before on other episodes that I am a introvert by nature and an extrovert by training. But I've basically not been training
Right.
for 2 years.
Right.
Right. So that's where I worry that I will just like shut down and be like, actually, I'd rather just sketch. Do whatever you guys want with this booth. I'm going to just be back here sketching.
Yeah, I feel like the recovery is going to be longer than usual. Like normally we'd bounce back and do another show immediately. Well, I guess we kind of are. But
Even in this smaller space, I intentionally made a backstage. I peaked
Yes.
my thing so that I have a place where I can slip between the two banners. It's just about maybe 2 feet by 3 feet, but it's like hidden behind the booth where if I need to just vanish from people and leave everything to my helper for a bit, I can just poof like a magician's trick, which I normally don't do. I don't build that in usually.
But you guys did that at San Diego one year, didn't you?
Yeah, but that was
best thing ever.
Yeah, San
New
Diego
York, too.
That's different.
Yes.
There's hundreds of thousands of people. Here there'll be like what, 10,000 maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Right? So, yeah. So I just like just prepping for it a little bit. Coming up the ramp through the security and loading and the rattle of the carts and the little bit too bright halogen lights and the whole thing really does remind you what a machine you're a part of as you join this world. And I think that there's a bit of a dehumanizing part of it. And I could see that while we were getting jazzed up, there was a few people on the dock that I saw having the opposite reaction. Instead of like, oh boy, it was like, oh no, I don't think I'm ready. Like I could see that bit of panic.
Yeah,
on
it'll
some
pass. So I
faces.
think by day 2 you'll feel right back in it, and you'll be right back where you were 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Really do.
Yeah.
It'll all come back.
Yeah, everyone's lived experiences are going to make it. Chris Simonite walking by,
Hey,
local artist, excellent absurdist. You have a great way of describing your work. Chris, come over here, Chris.
we're podcasting right now.
here,
Yeah, come
I'll give you my mic, and Greg is gonna do some quick questions.
Yeah, quick
Okay,
questions.
should I take my mask off?
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
Chris Simonite, introduce
sir.
yourself.
So
And
yes, I forgot my name though, but you just said it. Oh yeah, Chris Simonite.
Yeah, I
it.
got you.
I was exhibitor.
My name
Exhibitor.
is
My name is
Exhibitor. All right, so that's your name. Tell us about your artwork.
Okay, so I am an oil painter, which I think is fairly rare at these cons.
I think so too.
And my most recent work, and I've done a ton of it, like hundreds in the last 2 years because of the
We call it the event on this podcast. We call it the event.
The
Yeah.
event. I've done these weird cubist paintings, well, cubist-inspired paintings of pop culture and sometimes made-up faces, but usually pop culture characters.
You're wearing one on a T-shirt right
It is
now.
a Clockwork Orange painting.
Clockwork,
That's
yeah,
cool.
it's beautiful.
Yes, I
Yeah.
call it. This one was actually commissioned by a wealthy guy, like a wealthy collector in Miami off of Instagram.
It's strange. Okay, so this was I was going to ask you. How do you? Is this your first show back in 2 years?
It is 2 years.
But you said you made hundreds of pieces of work.
Oh, I've done so much. Now, I've only made prints out of 40 of them, 40 new ones. I could have done a lot more.
I feel like you should seem more insane.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
More insane having
could've.
done hundreds of oil paintings.
Yeah.
You must have a well-ventilated area.
Well, I actually have found ways of doing it that are pretty safe. I don't use any mineral spirits at all.
How are you going to go mad?
I know, right? It's not good. But I used to work in the printing industry.
So you know all about it.
Yeah, so I inhaled a lot of chemicals for years.
All right, so you're probably
So I
at
was like,
any moment you could
I don't
snap.
want them. Yeah, I could snap anytime. I probably just did. I'm pretty sure I'm snapping right now.
Being prompted. Chris, thank you for being so amenial. Is that the right word?
I don't know.
Well,
to,
I missed you guys. It's been so long.
Oh, I missed you too. And then
I
when
kept
you
thinking
came
about
by
it.
today
Yeah.
and gave a brief hello, I
did.
saw that you were fighting between your normal congeniality and the fact that you saw I was in the middle of unloading heavy boxes.
I did.
And so you left. So I was glad you
did.
walked by. I could rope you in.
Yes, I figured that, there's time.
We will reconnect.
We will.
Yeah, and we'll have you on the show again.
And I'll be
also.
right
For a full
across from
episode.
Justin,
Yeah,
so
for
I
a
can
full
wave
episode.
at him all day long.
That's right. You can
Yeah.
tell us what he's doing wrong.
I can. Yeah.
Make a list of. Oh, this is great. Okay. While you're watching Justin, make a list. It'll probably there's room probably for hundreds, but maybe just a dozen things that you think he could do better, and then we'll have you on the podcast as a person, or anything as a fellow exhibitor that annoys you about him. Add that to the list also.
So, I don't think I can give him tips on his art because he's got that pretty nailed.
He does have it. Well, he's all right. Don't tell him while he's here.
Yeah.
Don't say it
okay.
while he's here.
Okay. Well, he's okay.
Yeah. Can he do a cubist painting in oil?
You know what? There might be a bit of a learning curve, but he probably could do it. I bet.
Amazing. Okay, well, thanks for being a man on the street for us.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Why don't you tell the people who are listening where they can find you online so they can see what I see on your shirt right now?
There's so many places, but my website. My last name is so rare that I own the .com.
What?
Wow.
So Simonite.com. That's Simon with ITE at the end. .com is my website. Chris Simonite Art is my Instagram and Facebook. I think Twitter doesn't allow the word art, but my Twitter account has recently turned into a bot that just keeps posting my artwork.
Nice.
You've employed robots.
So it's just Chris Simonite at Chris Simonite because I can't have the word art. I've employed robots.
If you're near a computer right now, you should Google Chris Simonite Art. You will not be disappointed.
Well, I
Thanks for
appreciate
joining
the
us,
kudos.
Chris.
Thank you. You guys have fun.
All right.
Good luck, everyone.
See, just what you wanted. You said, let's pull someone in who walks by.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Quick fire interview. Love it.
That still only counts as one.
What item at your table, Gregory, are you most excited about showing the public for the first time in person? They may have seen it online, you may have talked about it already, but you're actually going to see face-to-face interactions with what?
So I was just saying this to Dan as we were unpacking the podcast gear. I had this new lanyard that I made just before all shows got canceled. So it says the automatic age on it. It has my name on it. And I was so thrilled to bring it into the world. I had made it before the book came out as a way to promote it. And then lockdown happened and the book came out. And now we're, a year and a half since.
You didn't even get to have a book launch.
Didn't even get to have a book launch. So really, this is the first time that this book has been in public with me beside it. And
You
I'm-
printed a brand new 7-foot banner
Yes.
for it even.
Yeah. Because some people like at Quill and Choir and other places said some really nice things about it. And so at the urging of my publisher, we should share some of those things. So I made a big banner with some pull quotes about the book. And it does feel like a coming out party for the automatic age, for sure. Very close second in my heart is Dragon Nanny, though. And I was saying to my son this morning, he was saying, like, what are you most looking forward to at the show? He knows I haven't been in a while. I said, the first honest review of Dragon Nanny that I'll see with my own eyes. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that moment when a kid flips through it and they either love it or hate it, but they're not interested in my feelings at all. That is the moment, right?
It's got robots and dragons in it. Like, what's not
gonna
to...
work? Automatic Age is different because it's prose with illustrations, so you
Right.
don't really know if you hate it until after you've already been tricked into reading it.
And actually, that was my question, and kind of thought about, you guys often talk about what you think is going to be your big seller, or what prints go better than others. Do you feel like Dragon Nanny is going to be yours, Justin, this
I
weekend?
really hope so.
Yeah.
I do have from the 2.5 shows that I have done.
What's the half show?
I did the Assiniboine Downs.
Oh, yeah.
I did like a little local craft market type thing. But I did a piece just for me based on the Lo-Fi YouTube channel.
Yes. Oh, yes.
That is for, I didn't realize, but it is one of my top sellers. And that was one of those pieces that did just for me, just for fun.
Because you were staring at it all the time, listening to
Yeah,
music.
I wanted to do like a sunny, I wanted sunbeams coming through a room, and I wanted to draw a bunch of plants, and boom. You never know. You never know.
Yeah.
Just do what you want, and something's going to stick.
I have at least 25 new prints. I have
Yeah.
a small number of at least 20 new things in the portfolio.
Did you bring everything, or did you...
He just said he did, yeah.
I brought a little bit of all of those 20, but I didn't print, like, if we were going to do 10 more shows after this like usual, I would print a lot and then figure it out. In this case, I just did like a sample, and now this will be my way of figuring out
Are you not afraid that
to what.
one piece is going to take off and you'll...
Be out
Totally,
of it, yeah.
yeah, totally. I mean, but I'm okay. I packed the least amount of stress and the most amount of inventory. I tried to find the Venn diagram between that. So normally I bring a lot more stuff and a lot more heavy things, but we fit it into one vehicle and all in rolly suitcases, so it worked pretty good.
What are your expectations for this weekend?
My fears or my...
Well, what do you expect to
Or
happen?
my-
Like, what do you... fears, if you're afraid of those expectations, sure, but what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I said one of them. What if I'm out of practice liking people?
Right.
That's a big one. My expectations for the show really are just to try to reconnect with the people who have made this career of mine here in Winnipeg possible. Before I sold books anywhere else, I sold books here. And I sold enough books here that it set an alarm off in my head that, oh, hey, maybe people would want these other places too. And so I want to reconnect with that group of people.
When you say here, you don't like, because normally we would do the Comiccon, but then there was also at least 2 other smaller comic conventions and the anime convention and a book event and some other, like you would see a lot of these people not once per year, but 3 or 4 times
sometimes
per year in
5
some
times.
cases.
So these are, they're not...
Your local
It's
customers.
disingenuous to say that they're like my friends because, you're not.
You
There's
only
always-
see them at cons, right?
Right.
So that's, yeah.
But
They're
they
your
are-
con friends.
They are acquaintances that have come to understand the work. And actually, there's a few that I'm thinking of now. I can see their faces who never buy any of them. They actually don't like it. We just have a great conversation. There's one guy who always comes and talks to me about whatever latest science fiction show there is. And we talk about that. He has never once looked at a print, bought a book, or overstayed his welcome. He's just had a very pleasant conversation. We have a lot of nerd overlap, and so we've had those kinds of interactions. So it's like things like that, those single-serving interactions I'm looking forward to, and
Yeah,
I'm hoping to reconnect to.
It is fun when you run into somebody at a con that loves something obscure as much as you do. Like,
Yeah.
you really love like ROM Space Night, and you find someone else who loves ROM Space
Yeah.
Night.
Like
and,
that
and that
kid-
person is here. You know that person is here.
Like that kid in Regina who we had a long conversation about the USS Reliant as one of my favorite ships in Star Trek. And then the next day he brought me a 3D printed
The
Reliant.
Reliant?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is in the studio. You have
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Nice. Which one is the Reliant?
In Wrath of Khan.
Oh yes, of course.
Right.
I was thinking Defiant for a second. I'm like,
No.
that's
Deep
Defiant.
Deep Space
I like the
Nine.
Defiant. The Defiant is an
Well,
excellent ship.
The Reliant is better.
Whatever.
So it's like things like that.
Yes.
It sounds silly.
No, it's not.
But the other thing, too, is that we have so little risk at a home show. You're not paying for flights. You're not paying for hotels. You're not paying
Yeah.
for anything but the table. That there's no way for it to go back. Even if, for some reason, no one bought any single thing, it'd be worth the money I paid for my tables to have all those conversations that I told you
Okay.
about.
Not only that, but like because of the pandemic and having to pivot our businesses, we figured out how to make our livings without conventions. So this is really just kind of the cherry on top.
Yeah.
I just think like before, conventions were my main source of income, and this I needed this.
Yeah.
But now, it's like I want to do this, but I don't need it. So there's this pressure that's been lifted. It's
Yeah,
not
the-
as tied into my financial security as it once was.
Yeah, the desperation for success is not present.
Right.
Yeah.
Right?
And that I think will help your tableside manner where if you're not desperate for sales, you're just going to relax and have fun and talk to people, right?
Yeah.
You're
I
not
don't
going to
think
be like
we-
hovering over them.
We never, I don't think we were ever aggressive about
No,
it or
no, I know.
anything like that, but it is like...
Although
yeah,
if you're
it's
a
just-
longtime listener who's been to our booth and thought we were aggressive, I apologize. You know?
FanQuest 2018, man, you were really pushing. I was
Oh,
like,
man.
I don't know.
I had that like shepherd's hook. I would just grab people and pull them and like, look at this. I will also say that I'm not sure what the cosplayers are going to do. I'm looking like I just don't know what that's going to look like because how do you put these masks into that attention to detail?
Well, I expect a lot of cosplay to incorporate masks. I mean, I think
a lot of Mandalores.
A lot of
Yeah.
Sub-Zeros and Scorpions.
Well, I mean, that's already the
Sub-Zero
case.
Scorpion.
There's a lot of masks involved in cosplay anyway, but I expect to see like basically a costume that just includes a mask as part of that costume, right? So, just if Wolverine wore a mask, it's like that.
Yeah. I saw some people printing the bottom half of their faces for masks on some cosplays I saw
Okay.
online. Right.
So it looks like you're not wearing a mask at all. Yeah.
Right.
for the photos because they want to
Yeah.
have
Yes.
the photo look right. Right? They're
That's cool.
complying, but they're not. I thought that was pretty funny.
Right now! Right! Right for ruin! And the world's ending! Dead!
Proper nutrition at a show is like essential.
Yeah.
We ate like a king's ransom in vegetables waiting in the line to get into here. And then, we've planned times to get food, to have meals, to do all that kind of stuff, to get out of the show long enough to have that. I just think that that's really important. If you're new to the podcast and you're wondering about doing shows, an often forgotten thing is your own body. Like, make sure you
Yeah.
bring fuel for that.
And I think you don't realize how much exercise it is loading everything into the vehicle and then out again. Like every suitcase is 50 plus pounds. All these boxes are 20 plus pounds. Like you really are. You have to have a bit of a workout to get everything here.
Yeah.
And then if you have no food, no time to get food,
Yeah.
you're not doing yourself any favors for your endurance of the show.
And also, there's not a lot of healthy options around here. I'm looking at a mini donuts cinnamon thing and a lemonade stand, which, you see those at every con,
Yeah.
but that's pretty much your options here. There's probably hot dogs somewhere.
And that
Hot
becomes
dogs,
your
pizza.
bonus then, right? You can
Yeah.
have that. But
Yeah.
you're
There's
getting
not a lot of place to
significant-
get a healthy meal here, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you didn't mention, we assume it's Dragon Nanny, but maybe it's not, and maybe it's Lo-Fi Girl. But is there something in your heart that you think will be the one you're so glad that people get to
So
see?
our book number, we talked about it last podcast.
of
Our book
course.
number 4 has arrived.
I know because I unloaded it from the loading dock all by
Yeah,
myself.
we haven't talked about that. So while I was at Hopewell Rocks in Nova Scotia, look it up. They're amazing. These huge, gargantuan rocks that have been worn down by the ocean. So it's just these like mountainous rocks that are held up by little stems of rocks because the waves have just chewed them away. And then it's also the water when it comes in.
The tide.
The tide is the most extreme in Canada. So it's like it goes out like hundreds of meters and then comes back 9 hours later. And so you have to be very careful. Like at a certain point, like it'll be dangerous if you're not very close to shore.
Like a big rush of something. So it's a good analogy because, well, he was very far away somewhere else waiting for an enormous heavy thing to come rushing towards him. That's where I was on the loading dock waiting to unload his book as it arrived.
My printer phoned me and they're like, good news, your book is done early. Can we drop it off tomorrow? And I'm like, this is not going to work
Justin's
for
like,
me,
in
but
Halifax?
maybe.
Wow.
Maybe. I said, okay, because Gregory and I use the same printer for a lot, so you have his stuff on file. Can you give him a call and see if there's any way he might be around to accept the shipment? And before I had a chance to text you,
Yeah,
they called.
Freezes phoned me right away, and they're like, I wonder if it seems weird to me, but I've been told that maybe you'll take this 1.1 ton of books into inventory on the behalf of this other person. I was like, absolutely. When? Tomorrow morning? Great. Let's do it. They
I'd be
were
like,
so
Justin
shocked.
who?
Yeah.
Wrong number.
Yeah.
So our studio smells of a printing press right now, which is it's starting to wear on me a little bit. It was great for the first day or two, but now
Well, and
Chemicals that Chris was
Chris
talking
Simon and I
about.
will point out, you don't want to be around that too long. It was honestly a kind of thrilling because it had been a long time since I'd had to show up at the loading bay for that
was
kind of
actually
stuff.
almost to the day. Dragon Nanny arrived around this time last year.
Wow, that's right.
Almost to the day.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well maybe that's why it felt so right. And anyway, loading it in and then opening that box for the first time, and I have to say, I felt it was like a little voyeuristic to open Justin's art, be the first one to crack the seal on, open up Justin's art book. I took like boudoir photos of it to send to him. I set it up in the right light, and I sent the book photos to him. It has this gorgeous foil cover, so it has to hit the light just right. So I waited till the sun was slanting through the window, and I just, oh man, it's a sexy looking book.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool too.
Yeah,
You got lots of new. You both have lots of new stuff, and it sounds like Chris has lots of new stuff. So it sounds like hopefully the vendors here have all been hard at work, and the artists have been hard at work. We won't have a repeat of what you saw at Calgary, and we will see people with new stuff.
Yeah, it's because again, like when we talked about it at that podcast, a lot of people didn't have the opportunity to work on new stuff during the pandemic. So I think we will see a lot of similar looking boosts to when we left. And
Raging Ape look like they have a ton of new stuff.
No.
Did they not?
So Raging Ape, they just heard this story. They were so excited about the Toronto show in March in 2020, shipped pallets of their stuff to Toronto. Pandemic happened, it was canceled, so they had to get it all shipped back. So they took a big hit. So, but they have the entire Toronto show was ready to go.
So that's what they're selling.
So rather than stress themselves
out,
out,
I see the new stuff. That's the stuff. It's actually old new stuff.
Yeah, Raging Ape is also everybody at that table works at Complex Games, and they are doing some amazing video game stuff with the Warhammer franchise right now. So they are super busy with real work. So this, just to, I think, have that pre-packaged show
Probably
ready to go.
Was good. Well, I saw them unpacking just like some
health.
incredible looking art that was new to me. So I'm excited to see them. And we have to get Dave Oro on the podcast because he has a Jodie Foster story that we'll bring to the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Really great. Oh, man. Okay, so I'm starting to feel better about people. Although I'm in an empty room right now. So I feel maybe that's why I like people. Because I'm just talking about the idea of people.
Your voice is also going to give out a little bit because you have to... Everybody has to speak a bit louder through the masks. It's a little harder to understand. So you're going to be...
A lot of repeating yourself.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of that, yes.
Yeah.
What's that? Sorry?
Yeah.
I do that all the way, every day.
Especially when it's in full swing. Lots of people.
You take for granted how much you read lips while you listen.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of new, properties, new things coming out, or have there been? Dune. What else? Nothing else, I guess.
The
Dune.
DC fandom just happened.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Expect to see some Shang-Chi art?
I hope so.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I want a print of the bus.
The
Suicide
bus.
Squad?
Have you seen
I
Shang-Chi?
haven't seen it yet.
No,
No.
I really would like to.
I'm pretty sure the bus is from Winnipeg.
Oh, really?
It's a new flyer bus. I think it's from
Suicide
Winnipeg.
Squad. There was a new Halloween movie. Like there's been a lot of fodder for fan art, so there'll be a lot of new fan art. I mostly went to like all of my new pieces are ones that I wished I'd had time to get around and do just for me.
Well, yeah,
which I took the time to then do just
you were
for me.
explaining it to me like the other day, like you did a lot of artwork more for you because you didn't have... You weren't doing it for your online store. You weren't doing it for conventions. So whereas I was still kind of thinking about how is this going to sell online? How is this going to sell at shows? You were kind of going, the other way and not worrying about that quite as
much. I
much.
went full introvert in my art making. This is just what I want to make for the next 3 days. And as a result, I have an enormous body of work, which I'm very proud of. Whether or not other people will like it,
We'll find out.
Yeah, we will find out.
Did you bring your art book, speaking of body of work?
I did, yes.
Okay, good.
I did.
Yeah, good.
Yes, I did. See previous podcast for my shame related to my other art book. But I am going to give, my plan is those regular customers I told you about, those people that helped give me that confidence, my plan is to award many of them with a copy of that book, whether they know it or not. It'll either show up in their bag, it'll show up on their, with their other purchases or whatever. I'm gonna fairy dust it on a few people. So if you're listening to this a few weeks from now, and you're like, why did this crabby book end up in my bag? What did he do to me? That was actually a gift. I intended that to be a gift.
Actually, that's actually a pro tip. Locals are more likely to do deals on things than any other show because we didn't have to pay to fly there, stay there. It's an expensive new city. We're local, so I'm more likely to throw in extras, throw in a bonus print than any other show during the year.
So it pays to know who's local.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah. Well, local and likes people. You know.
My friends. You bow to no one.
I think I must be recognizable behind this mask because people are looking and saying hi and stuff to me.
Yeah.
As people
You're
walking by.
famous.
Well, not really, but
You're
I
Podcast
mean,
Dan.
I know, no, but I'm. No, I think more for the FanQuest. I'm FanQuest Dan to a lot of people here.
Yes.
Not Podcast Dan, but it's great. I love seeing all these faces. I actually sent an email out to all the FanQuest vendors. I don't remember if I copied you guys or not. Just to say, it's what we talked about. Just to say hi. I'm still here. We're still having an event. Just letting you know. Just waiting to see what happens. And basically, my message was, I'm going to this. Like I said, I'm going to be here at this con this weekend. If you see me, say hi. We're still kind of waiting to see how everything plays out. And this weekend, and I'm going to be back here tomorrow at least, and maybe Sunday as well, to see how it's going, to see what the traffic's like, to analyze it, and just kind of assess whether or not I think we can successfully run a FanQuest in the spring with as little. Like, I want it to be as close to normal as possible. Right. So
you know,
that's
the person to talk to is that person at the security desk who works for the convention center and not the show. If I was going to go and ask someone what are the real problems, that's who I would go and say, because those things aren't going to make the media. They're going to be the problems that actually happened that aren't widely known.
Yeah, but also I can see them too. If I see problems happening, I can observe.
Right. You can cause a few problems.
I don't want
see how people react.
Yeah, it's called a fire alarm. Let's do that. Remember that happened? That was 5-6 years ago.
Oh.
Was it, or does it happen every year? I remember one particular year, they kept pulling the fire alarm. It kept going off over and over and over again. Somebody was doing that.
Yeah. Rivals. Rivals.
Yeah,
now,
this show-
is that over there, gentlemen, is that in fact the severed head of a human being under a tarp? Or is that just a coffee
I think it's a water jug.
carafe?
Are you trying to really pump spookiness into our Halloween episode?
I guess it is
Because this
our
is our
Halloween
Halloween episode.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Watch a scary movie.
It really did. Look at that. It looks like a...
I've been watching scary movies all month.
Yeah, you have. How's that going?
It's going really well. I'm having a lot of fun.
Does it affect your psyche? Do you feel like you're more bummed out this month than...
Well, I tell you, when I've done this in the past, yes, because I didn't. Well, here's the thing. The first time I did this, I was just kind of on a whim, what do I feel like watching tonight? And just picking a scary movie and watching it. And that was really so I didn't really think about what the movie was about or how it would affect me. And I watched Hereditary and then a couple of other ones in a row. That
Hereditary
were really,
is one you need a break after.
Yeah, but I didn't take a break. And Hereditary did. And that was the first time I'd seen it, too.
Oh,
so
my
that was
goodness.
also a problem. This year, what I'm doing, I planned it out a little bit better. I have theme weeks I've done. So I did the first week with just movies I'd never seen. So I want to catch up. And I saw some really good ones that way. And then the second week was supposed to be the classics. So all the greatest ones of all time. I watched 3 of those and then I got sidetracked with the Midnight Mass, which is another story for another time.
Oh.
You guys scared me into watching it. I'll tell that story in another episode. But I'm counting Midnight Mass as 3 movies because it's a 7-hour series, right?
Yeah.
So that's fine. And then I did 80s week, so it's just all movies from the 80s. 7 movies from the 80s, which is a lot when you think about it, and I didn't really think about it.
I watched Gremlins last night with my kids.
it's a great
14
movie.
hours of...
I saw Gremlins when I was 8 years old. My parents took me to the theater when it came out.
That's too young.
I
too
was
young.
way too young. I spent much of the movie standing on the flip-up seat, standing facing the other way. Speaking of elevator facing the wrong way,
Yep.
This was 8-year-old Gregory turned terrified. My parents were that was that generation. Well, we paid for the ticket. We ain't leaving.
Better watch it.
Right? You can turn around if you want, but we're here for the movie. And utterly terrified me. My bedroom was in the basement. So I came home and I had a big closet where the door didn't close all the way. And I was convinced that one of those horrible green skin monstrosities was going to come out, cut me, and then run back into there. I didn't sleep a wink that night. So I showed it to my kids. I realize I'm the same age that my dad was when he took me to see
Right.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
They're a little older, and they've seen an episode of Stranger Things or two.
Yeah.
They understood. What was interesting about it is once they saw it, afterwards we discussed all the different shows, cartoons, movies, things they've watched that reference Gremlins that they now realize, they're just doing that. Oh, this is the influence of that.
That's something I find is really interesting about my children is that they understand a lot of my references, my old references, but not because they've seen the movie
because
or the
of
TV show.
references.
To those references, yes. It's because of a meme. I was like, how do you know
Yeah.
what that is? A meme. Oh, okay. There's a meme for that? I guess so.
Yeah, I remember watching Psycho for the first time, and it almost seemed like parody. Because
Yes.
I'd seen it referenced so many times that when the woman's getting stabbed in the shower, I'd seen so many things make fun of that. When I was watching the actual movie, I couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah, like Rambo 2 is a parody of itself.
Just to add and to let people know what I've been doing now, I've been watching all these movies, but I'm also making TikToks about each movie. And you can see them on TikTok, but also I think I'm sharing them to my Instagram and Facebook stories. You can see them there as well. And basically it's just a little 1-minute blurb about the movie. And what I'm trying to do is just share my thoughts and my experiences around the movie. So for Psycho, which I did watch this month, I told a story about how I
The Vince Vaughn one, right?
No, come on. No, I was the original, and I told my story about when I first saw that movie, and it was actually in a film studies class at the University of Manitoba, and my professor was Guy Madden. So that was a fun little thing. And
Guy Madden, I feel like, would be a good person to talk you through a film like that.
He's great. It was awesome. But the problem is half the class started laughing at the end because the psychiatrist at the end was trying to explain to the people what's wrong with Norman Bates.
Right.
And these people are like, how do you not understand what's wrong with, like, why do we have to have this person explain to us? And it's because back then, the idea of a split personality wasn't very widely known.
Well, I'll say that about Gremlins, too. There was
what is your TikTok?
Oh, Dan watches movies.
Okay, there we go.
Dan watches movies.
Yes.
I'm going to check it out. There's a scene in Gremlins where, my kids were like, well, of course that's true. Everyone knows that about the holidays, where the two main characters are talking about, hey, did you know that Christmas is one of the saddest times of the year for an enormous number of people, right? And of course, that would have gone over 8-year-old Gregory's head for sure. But it's weird to me that in 1984, maybe not weird, but it's just interesting to look at old media and see that in 1984, filmmakers, producers, actors, like all of those people engaged in this moment in the middle of what is essentially a ridiculous film to stop and be like, hey, just so you know, we know that Christmas isn't great for everyone.
Yeah.
Right? And
was Gremlins released around Christmas? Was it meant to be a Christmas movie?
But my kids were like, well, yeah, everyone knows that about the holidays. Is this? Why would they?
And that's not something we knew as kids.
We didn't.
No.
This is exactly it.
Don't you let go. Don't let go. Breathe!
Final thoughts on the con this weekend?
We both have a lot of space. I'm really, I love having enough space to really stretch out and do everything that I want to do.
Yeah, the local show's good for that.
Yeah, having this much stuff and
I could land a dirigible in the space that I have.
Gregory's got
Can you please do that? That would be fun.
It would be definitely an activator for people, yeah, for sure. What do you do differently when you have that much space? Or what does it do to your mental space to have physical space like that when you're doing a show?
I think, it's just, it makes everything a little bit more organized, a little bit more stress-free. You don't have to, I feel like everything's fighting for attention if I've got 2 smaller tables. But here the tables are a little bit bigger, and I have 3 tables, and Gregory has 4. And so we can really kind of go all out and do, you see somebody you know?
Yeah, I thought so maybe. I was going to catch someone.
But yeah, it's especially local when we are going to go overboard and bring more than we can ever bring. Getting those extra tables makes a big, big difference.
You get it too, I know. One of my favorite bits of feedback, it's 100%. This is just my ego talking now. When someone says, hey,
Drake,
where are you from? And you say, oh, you're from Winnipeg, and they're so surprised. Wait, who's here? There's Drake. Should I go get him?
Is that Drake?
Yeah.
I'll go get him.
You? Okay. You recognize the hair?
And he's wearing a Scissor 7 hoodie.
Nice.
Which is a quirky, funny little anime that he introduced me to, which I never would have liked on my own, but because I was watching it with him and Carmen, his girlfriend, and they were they love it. It was a show I'd never liked, but because I watched it with the right people.
Right. That's always fun.
I'll grab your prints.
Here.
It's Drake.
This is your payment. You have to.
Welcome to Winnipeg.
Hello. Is this the podcast that I've been missing out on?
This is Super Pulp Science.
Yeah.
Which you've been a guest of twice.
Yes.
Maybe 3 times.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just explaining to Dan about your shirt being from a show that I would have never gotten into on my own.
Yeah, isn't it awesome?
Yeah.
Cool.
But I was there when you bought it.
yeah. We're watching it I want that shirt. And then we went on
The internet.
basically the Chinese Amazon and grabbed one.
Now, Drake, you're back here in Winnipeg for a con for the first time in a couple of years, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? How are you feeling?
Great.
Yeah?
It's just great getting out again. I didn't
You just
know.
got back from Toronto?
Yeah, I just got back from Toronto. I didn't realize how much I missed just being on the road and selling my artwork. Like, I knew I kind of like missed the lifestyle, but at the same time, it's pretty nice sitting cozy at home drawing all day. But yeah, now that I'm actually on the road and doing it again, it's really enjoyable, really exciting. Yeah, just fun.
You find your customers are coming to find you at the cons and seeing the regular people?
Yeah, I definitely saw quite a few regulars in Toronto, which I'm not too surprised because they also like probably were itching to go to a convention again themselves, right?
Yeah, and how was the show? I haven't heard any.
It was really good.
Yeah.
I did the Calgary one. I think you were there
Yeah.
too, right? Yeah. And like just like the Calgary one, even though it was shrunk down from 4 days to 3 days, sales-wise, we were still just as busy and people were just as enthusiastic. Obviously, the show floor was a lot less impressive. Like, they didn't even bother putting down the red carpet at Fan Expo, which they
Aw,
usually do.
love the red
Which made
carpet.
it feel so fancy. Yeah. All the vendors were like, they looked like little mom-and-pop shops around the city that just signed up last minute. But no, it was a good show for an exhibitor, so
Good.
yeah.
Hi, Drake.
Hey, Greg.
And you got to stay with my brother.
Yes.
I
got
sent
to-
my little brother to do the Toronto show
Yeah.
for me while I was on vacation because I'm a selfish older brother.
Did we cover the fact that one of the other things that happened over the course of you being in Halifax is you didn't let me know that Drake's prints were arriving, so
I didn't know either. You texted me when they were already here.
Oh, my God. Are you talking about the second batch or the first batch?
Both. I
Oh.
wasn't here for any of it.
Oh, okay.
so I got you.
Oh, sweet. Thank you, Greg.
I got you.
Yeah, no, Justin was like, yeah, just send them to the studio. It's safer. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Shipping and
like-
receiving Gregory was right
Yeah,
there
you
for
did. That was a while ago, and I just completely forgot about it. And they arrived.
Yeah. And you arrived. You're here in Winnipeg.
Yes, sir.
Did you just get here?
No, we got here yesterday.
No, but I mean, like at the convention. Like, have you started setting up? Did
Yeah.
we
I s-
grab you right in the middle?
Oh, no. I was like setting up since 12:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been here for a bit.
Yeah. I actually saw you like eating some snacks at your booth. I was going to go over and like say hi and get my prints, but then like I looked over again and you were gone again. I was like, oh.
It's been a hectic morning. Yeah.
I was noticing too, now that the three of us are all together, that people's masks actually have started to like people have found the mask that they like. Like this is
Yeah,
a very Drake
yeah, we got
mask.
a
The
lot
one
of
you're wearing,
variety.
it's looks like technical. It's a little bit like precision. It's kind of like how you draw. Justin's is very comfortable.
This is my comfy moving in mask. I've got my fancier mask
You got
at
a
my table
fancier
ready to
mask?
go.
Yeah.
Right.
So I brought a couple different masks. Switch it up.
Yeah, I have like a checker pattern on mine. I just, just because no one else has one like that. Strange. So you've been doing shows though?
Calgary and Toronto only so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's not talk about any of that. What's it like being in Winnipeg again?
About the same. I don't know. It feels the same.
Yeah?
Yeah, it
Feels
was
the
just nice. Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's nice just getting out of the studio or my home after for so long. I got like really used to just, waking up, drawing, playing games, going to sleep, rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You need to
Oh, I
interrupt
almost
that.
feel sorry for you. No, not at all.
Routine.
No, not at all. One of the questions that has been asked so far on the show today is, do you have a piece that you're excited to put in front of people again for the first time after so long?
Yeah, like 30 of them.
So you, like Chris Simon, have also been working real hard while you've been at home.
Yeah, well, when lockdown happened, at first I really relied on commission work and like studio work. And then I realized I really missed just doing illustrations of things I loved, which was what, worked for conventions. So I tried to move on to like the online shop and try to move prints online. That didn't go really well, but like I was stubborn, so I just kept doing it.
You get to draw what you like,
yeah.
and it's not like it's wasted time. You're eventually going to be at
Yeah,
back
I
at
knew
conventions.
I knew eventually it was just more product for cons when they do startups. So I was like, whatever.
So just wrote it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, chase the muse until it got tired.
Yeah, pretty much.
I come back. Amazing. Well, I just realized as I ran to get your prints
Yeah.
that when I ran to the podcast, of course, we were the only people setting up in there. So the huge mess that I made while I was setting up and just abandoned is now in other people's way for sure. So I should go and clean that mess up. So this is maybe a good place for us to round up, because you should be a good convention neighbor when you're at a convention.
It's one of those rare on-location podcasts, too. We've only done this, we did this with like Sam on the way to Saskatoon.
Yeah, when we
or
nearly got
Edmonton.
killed in that haunted house.
Yeah.
Or a haunted old church.
Spooky.
Yeah, that's right. I thought we were recording our last Wills and Testament before we went in. Yeah. See previous episode?
No.
Oh, Dan's not gonna post it in there. All right. Well, this has been Super Pulp Science, where we do talk about how genre gets made. We're here on location at the Winnipeg Comiccon. Join the fight and make comics.